This spring I started a new project which is going to take over a year to complete. And I'm working with fingerprint marks, counting the fatalities in both Iraq and Afghanistan since the beginning of the wars. I'm beginning with the statistics about the U.S. military deaths because it's more accurate and clear, and then moving into counting the civilian casualties. The fingerprints mark each individual loss in both of the wars. I began making little fingerprint marks with the gunpowder that I wet and used like ink. And I feel like for me it's a meditation. It's my body, my fingerprint, that actually, because of the materials, is not unique in each mark, represents the individual losses, and then collectively the mass of loss that has happened because of these wars. I was very interested to discover, when I started looking for quantities of gauze material, that there was vintage gauze available, which I bought from several sources, some of it from Vietnam era, some of it from World War II era, and it comes in lengths of 6 yards and sometimes an inch wide, sometimes 2 inches wide, and I can probably get close to 300 marks on one roll of gauze. It's an interesting process because I'm counting as I'm making the marks, but I never feel kind of confident that I've been accurate about that. So then I recount after I finish one of the lengths, and it becomes more of a meditation related to that practice. Both in many cultures of counting beads and counting things as a way of contemplation or slowing down and focusing, calming. I envision many possibilities for the installation depending on the venue and where I am with the process as the accumulated material builds. I feel like there's a number of ways that the work can be displayed, either hanging from floor to ceiling or suspended in space in the middle of a room, layered. It feels like the streamers kind of hang like prayer flags. So having them some distance from the wall and having the material have the possibility of some movement. If the ceilings are lower, the piling up of the material on the floor becomes very interesting because there is a contrast between the individual strands and more easily read individual marks of the material against the wall or hanging suspended, and then the collective sort of piling up of the material when it collects on the floor below. I really would, see this installation as more of a prayer for peace than as a reference to the violence. I mean, it is an accumulation of collecting or gesturing or acknowledging the amount of destruction and presenting it in a way that asks for something different.